This week I want to share with you one of my favorite topics when it comes to elk hunting, and that's elk calling. You know, from the very first time I called an elk in, I was totally hooked and addicted for life. So what I want to do on this episode is take you along on a lot of encounters, share some tips and tactics with you that will hopefully make you a better elk caller and make your elk hunting a lot more successful. So let's hit the woods together and share some exciting encounters here at Elk Camp. I'm Steve Chappell, and welcome to Elk Camp. I would say one of the biggest questions that I get from people wanting to know more about calling is, when do I bugle versus when do I cow call? Well, I will say, for me, as a hard and fast rule, I am basically calling bulls in with bugling when they're a herd bull. When I know that I'm dealing with a bull with cows, that's when I'm bugling. And I'm moving in and getting tight with him and his cows. I'm basically, infiltrating the herd, if you will. And when I get in there close, I'm bugling in a manner to, number one, flirt with his cows, and number two, insult him and punch him right in the nose, if you will. And when I feel like I put that sound and that emotion into that call, that's when I'm gonna get that reaction out of that bull. I'm gonna put him in that fight or flight mode. And when I'm in tight with him, with his cows, and I'm calling to a dominant herd bull, 9 times out of 10, he's gonna turn on a dime and come right to that call, as you're gonna see on this setup.
Elk Camp with Steve Chappell is brought to you by Bergara Rifles. Our barrels make the difference. Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls. We call the game. Zeiss Sports Optics. Confidence in the toughest conditions. Scree. Extreme Mountain Gear. And by Steve Chappell's Zero Hunt Fees. Experience Arizona elk hunting with zero hunt fees. Elk Camp with Steve Chappell is brought to you by Bergara Rifles. Our barrels make the difference.
And by contrast, versus bugling, I'm going to cow call 99% of the time when I'm calling to a satellite bull, because that bull is out looking and cruising and soliciting for cows, and that's when I'm going to use my calls to be exactly what that bull wants to hear. and that's a cow that wants some company and wants him to come visit me. And so that's what I want to put into my call. I want to have a sweet, three-dimensional, sexy tone to that call. And I'm telling you, the bulls just can't resist it when you blow a call in that manner, just like you're about to see during this encounter. Another very common question that I get is, how do I call differently when I'm calling to a herd bull versus a satellite bull? Well, the first thing I'll say about herd bulls is I've learned that they are vulnerable, and the reason they are vulnerable is because of those cows. You know, most of the time we think of those cows as something that's, you know, tough to get around. Their noses and eyes are very sharp. A lot of times they can blow everything up, but I say this, that is what makes that bull vulnerable to you, and that's because he is jealously guarding what he already has, and that's those cows. So I want to prey on that. The first thing I like to do is get in and, you know, super close to the herd bull, you know, say 75 yards or so if I can, if the terrain and vegetation will allow me to. And then my favorite call to blow when I'm in that position is what I refer to as a lip ball bugle. And when I blow that call, I'm really saying two things through that call. First of all, I'm flirting with that bull's cows, and second of all, I'm insulting him and I'm punching him right in the nose when I blow that call in an aggressive manner. And you're about to see, when you blow this call in the right tone, emotion, and volume, how a herd bull reacts to it. It's been just such an eventful hunt. We've called in so many bulls along the way, and
Past it.
oh yeah,
Past bulls every day at under 30 yards. You really make it easy on a bow hunter. Top pin, you take all the stress off of it. Amazing, Steve. Absolutely amazing how you can talk to these animals.
we made it work, Mark.
Outstanding.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hey guys, for this week's tip, I want to talk to you about the lip ball bugle, or when I use it more specifically, I like to call it the bull calling cows bugle. Now I use this call in a scenario where I'm in tight with a herd bull and he's very agitated and very defensive of his herd. And what you're doing is you're soliciting his cows to come over to you, and he's not going to let that happen, so he's going to come over and look to fight you. So now that you know about this call, let me demonstrate it for you. Guys, remember, you can use the bull calling cows bugle in a scenario when you get in tight with a herd bull and he's very defensive of his cows. Blow it with a lot of aggression and you'll get great results with it. And I want to wish you the best of luck on your hunts this fall.
This episode of Elk Camp is sponsored by Steve Chappell's Zero Hunt Fees. Experience Arizona elk hunting with zero hunt fees. This episode of Elk Camp is sponsored by Zeiss Sports Optics. Confidence in the toughest conditions.
When I'm calling to a satellite bull, that bull does not have what he wants. He does not have any cows. So he's basically out there roaming around, soliciting and searching for cows. So I can prey on that by being that sweet cow that he's looking for. You know, that bull isn't necessarily looking for a fight. Some satellite bulls will come into a bugle, but I call in most of the satellite bulls by cow calling. You know, one thing I'll say about herd bulls versus satellite bulls, some people have the opinion that the herd bulls are always the biggest bulls out there in the woods, and that's not necessarily the case. It's more to do with the bull's aggression level and demeanor, and there's some incredibly nice, genetically gifted satellite bulls that are out there cruising looking for cows. They can come in dramatically, just like this bull did for us in northern Arizona. You know, over the years, one of the most effective sounds that I've come across is a sound that I call the estrus scream. And it's a very aggressive, loud sound. I'm still fairly hesitant to use it, but I tell you, every single time that I do, I'm just taken aback by how effective it is. Like on this particular morning where we're dealing with a herd bull and he just won't come in or commit to any other type of calls, and I decide to pull that estrus scream out of my bag of tricks, and it made all the difference on this morning.
Elk Camp with Steve Chappell is brought to you by Bergara Rifles. Our barrels make the difference. Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls. We call the game. Zeiss Sports Optics. Confidence in the toughest conditions. Scree. Extreme Mountain Gear. And by Steve Chappell's Zero Hunt Fees. Experience Arizona elk hunting with zero hunt fees. This episode of Elk Camp is sponsored by Scree. Extreme Mountain Gear.
One thing I'll say to you guys who are new to elk hunting, if you haven't tried calling, it's something definitely worth doing. If you've never called a bull in, it is totally addicting getting a bull to commit and come in completely duped to the call. You know, I'll say for me that calling a bull in means way more to me than just killing that bull. You know, for me it's all about fooling that animal, having it come in completely duped to the call, totally committed to it, and being able to get that beautiful footage of him as he approaches. That's the most meaningful thing to me about elk calling. There's just nothing else like it. On this hunt, I was fortunate enough to finish up pretty early with my hunter that I had booked that year, and you know, it was the muzzleloader season in northern Arizona, and I was able to get with a great guy named Alan Grizz Samuelson, and I knew right away he was going to be a lot of fun to hunt with. He had his good friends Jason and Ryan Stevenson with him, and we only had one morning to go out, and I knew that we needed to make the most of it. And this was a morning where they were really responding well to my mouth diaphragm, and I could hear a bull bugling off to the west of us that morning that sounded pretty eager to come to the call, and we moved in toward him and got set up.
Good job. That's a good shot. That's a good.
Yeah, baby! Yeah! All right! High five! Yeah! That was lovely. Man, oh yeah.
Neat bugle for you.
Meet you guys this morning and come out and kill a big bull.
Hey, man. Hey, I got drove
Thank
back
you.
today too, man. That was perfect.
Thank you much.
Oh my God, that was incredible.
You know, what an incredible encounter. I got to share that morning with Alan and his friends. Just a hunt that I'll never forget. You know, as we approached this bull, it was just surreal how this bull had come out of the timber, came out into the wide open, bugled for us and put on a show. It's just something that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
For sure. Yeah. The way he came out, that was
Wow, I never had him
That
come
was
out in the
awesome.
open like that before.
that's just good calling.
Wow.
It's awesome.
It was so fun. hunting
That'll
with you
work,
guys
huh?
this morning. Yeah. But man, I'll tell you what, that was a big time adventure right there.
That was an experience.
Wow.
That was amazing.
The
Got
experience
'em.
was a 10 for sure. Yeah.
He's a dandy.
One of a kind. Good job again, you guys.
All right,
Vic,
cool.
thanks for being
Yeah,
on video.
Vic,
on
thank
this.
Thanks.
Man.
Bet.
This will send us home in style.
Yeah,
Experience of a lifetime.
that was a
for sure.
pleasure for sure.
Very nice.
Amazing.
Hey guys, if you'd like to experience a hunt with us here in Arizona like the one that you just witnessed, I have a program called Zero Hunt Fees, and what it does is it allows you to come hunt with us on any budget. So to find out more about this great program, log on to zerohuntfees.com. Feel free to reach out and get in touch with me, and one day you could be sharing a hunt with us like the one that you just witnessed.